Hey, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Talk Tuesday. If you've been here before, welcome back. This is your first time. Talk Tuesday is our weekly segment where we go over tips to help you enhance your finances. So this week is the last week of Credit Awareness Month. So guess what we're going to be talking about? Credit. All right. So before we get started, thank you for being here. I see a comment pop up. Let me go check it out. Thank you. Hello. Thank you all for hopping on so quickly. I appreciate you. I appreciate you every week for coming on here. You could be anywhere, but you join me for the tips. So we're going to talk about today how other people can affect your credit score and how they can affect your credit score. Maybe you don't know that it can affect your credit score, or you're not aware that it will affect your credit score. So we're going to go over a couple of things. So first thing we're going to go over is hi. Thank you for joining. We're going to go over authorized users. So authorized users, can you let me know in the comments, are you aware of authorized user? Yes, no. 1, if you are aware of it. 2, no, never heard of it. Have you been someone's authorized user? Have you allowed someone else to be an authorized user of yours? Let me know. And while you're letting me know in the chat, I just wanted to share with you all that this week I'm accepting members into my Financial Freedom Mastermind, which is my private community, where we work and go over tips to help you enhance your finances, and we learn while doing the work. Enrollment is only open until April 1st. After April 1st, we're going to be closed and no one else can join until the next time we open the doors. So if you're ready to enhance your finances, definitely you can see the link after this video, or go to my website, enhancingyourfinances.com, or send me a message, drop a comment, whatever. Just get in touch with me if you're interested, because you can benefit from it. 111. Awesome. All right. I love that you all have heard of authorized users. So we're going to talk about today how it can be good and it can be bad. Because it can be good and it can be bad for both sides. So for anyone who might be tuning in, to the replay, maybe you aren't aware of authorized user. An authorized user is when you allow someone or give them the authorization to be on your account, your credit account, and they will get a card which will have their name, which will have numbers, and ultimately it's going to your bill. So let's say you have a credit account where maybe you have $5,000, and then maybe you don't have anything on it, and this is your card, and you give someone else the card, authorization, and then they have that same 5,000, so they can go and literally spend as much as they choose because you have gave them authorization. So with that, most people do that. Well, not most. I don't want to say most. Some people do that. Whereas if the person who is the card holder has a really good credit score, and they manage their things well, and they're helping someone who may be just starting out with credit, you can be helping them to build up their credit score. So that would be a benefit for the person who is going to be using the card. But what you can do too for the person who is a card holder, just for your own safety and protection, maybe you can make them an authorized user, however, not actually give them that card. So they are getting the benefit of improving their score, but then you're not taking the risk of them going out and going shopping and, overdoing it like some people do. And then, then you're stuck with that bill, and then they say, oh, I'm going to help you. And then they don't actually help you. So, it can be good and bad for both sides. So if you are the person who's allowing someone to be an authorized user, it's good because you're doing something kind for someone. You're allowing them to, increase their, credit, because you're helping them, because theirs could be bad. But it could be bad because if you actually gave them the card and they overused it and they used too much, and too much, utilization, one, will affect your credit score. Will affect your credit score. And, that's a risk. If you're someone on the other side, if you are becoming an authorized user on someone else's account, the bad thing could be that person could say they have good credit and manage their things, and actually it's not. And that could actually bring you down further and worse than you were to begin with. So it's kind of risky on both sides. So you take a risk of, putting your name, you're putting your socials together technically. So it's either someone's going to pull someone up or someone's going to pull someone down. So that's kind of risky. So be mindful of that. Authorized users. It could be good, it could be bad, but that is something that can affect your credit score. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. So definitely, if you're doing that with someone, make sure it's someone that you know very well, someone that's probably family. But then again, things can happen with family too. So it could go either way. Next, we're going to talk about joint checking accounts. So when we have accounts, okay, accounts will not affect your credit. But let's say that how about put a one in the comment if you've ever had a joint account with someone. Because who's ever had a joint account with someone and you set up an idea of how we're going to work this account, and the next thing we know, we're not going how we said we were going to go. We said you put this much, I put this much, and then we're not taking it out, or we're only taking this out. And then next thing you know, someone's taking out too much, or someone didn't put in what they would say they're going to put in. And that could be dangerous too, because if you have stuff coming out automatically, like as far as bills, because maybe you put it together for household expenses, and the other person's money doesn't go in, and then those expenses try to come out, then you got the overdraft fee and things like that. Yes. So, when you do something like that, the what can hurt you with that is if there are fees on that account, and maybe the person that's supposed to handle these fees did not handle these fees, and now they're goes to collections, and then that's going to affect your credit score because of that. Of course, it's going to affect their credit score too, but they might not care because, we have to worry about our own credit score because how we feel about it, other people might not feel about it. So you have to be mindful of that. Or it could be where you have a joint account, and then maybe, we decide we're going to close this account down, and then that person doesn't really close it. And then you're not aware that there's still going on and doing things with this account, and you think it's closed. And again, they get fees, things go to collections, and then that's going to that messes you up. I thank you guys for the participation, putting those ones in the comments and stuff. I appreciate you guys. All right, number 3, co-signing. Have we ever co-signed for someone? This one's a tough one because, we want to help people. We want to, trust the people. People, just go ahead and co-sign it for me. I promise I'm going to pay it. I'm going to pay it. And then they don't pay it. When you co-sign for someone else, you are taking full ownership of that debt or, what they're signing on for. So they can... So I'm laughing at the comments. So I guess we're very, very aware of co-signing. So when you do that, you just be mindful of the risk you're setting yourself up for. And I would say if you co-sign for someone, just be aware that the full amount is going on your credit as well until it's paid off. And then definitely if they do not pay it, then you owe the full amount by yourself. Yes, it'll go to them, but if they don't pay, it's 100% on you. So that's very risky because you don't plan on paying that because you just think you're doing something for someone to help them out, and then they don't pay it. So that's another thing that can affect your credit score because of someone else. So I would say if you're going to be a co-sign for someone else, make sure it's something that you can afford to pay. If they don't pay, you can afford for the effects it's going to have on your credit as far as your debt to income, because it's going to, that amount of debt is going to go onto your credit. So be mindful of that and be careful with that because more times than not, that kind of goes in the wrong direction. So be careful with that. And our last one, number 4, is when someone opens up an account, without you knowing. So a situation like this usually happens. We have scammers out here now. People, do different things to get into your account. Like we have to be careful with, I was just talking to someone earlier today about, when you go to the airport, they were saying that, when how they have those little like kiosks at the airport where you can charge your phones. They said some people are actually doing things to kind of get into your phones there and, scam things and take stuff off of your phone, see what you're doing, and, look into your phone, get passwords, see accounts, banking information. With our people are sending us emails with bad links, which are they're acting like they're Amazon or acting like they're someone that we're used to receiving emails from. Then we click that link and then they get into our systems on our computers. If you notice at work, I don't know about you all, but at work for me, we get so many trainings on these things at work because they're just attacking people and trying to scam them any way they can to get into their systems, whether it's a computer or it's a phone. So just be mindful of that when you're opening your emails. Just read them to see, does the sentence make sense? Are the punctuations correct? Click on the to from in your email too, and look and see if who the name says it's from, because remember, you can type in whatever you want it to say for who it's from and see what the actual email address is, because you can check that out, because that can be like a whole bunch of different letters and numbers mixed up. That can show you that that's probably a scammer. Sometimes our emails will catch spam accounts, but they can't catch them all. So we have to be mindful of things before we click on things. We have to be mindful of social media. There's a lot of scammers everywhere you can go. But these people, once they get into your information, they get your name, they got your date of birth, they might get your address, they might get your social. They can open up accounts in your name, and more than likely, they're not going to do good with it, because what do they care? Because it's not their information. It doesn't affect their credit. They can go out, buy a new car, get some credit cards, go shopping, or get into your actual information and take your card numbers for the cards that you have and go shopping. And then, most times we can prove this and get the money back. But in the meantime, it's a great inconvenience. So we don't want to really deal with that if we don't have to. So I just say be mindful of things. The whole reason for Talk Tuesday today, be mindful of how what other people do can affect your credit score and your credit, and just be mindful of things, because that is usually your key to your success, for you to get things. That's a way for you to always have access to money, maybe when you don't actually have liquid assets. So be mindful of that. Yes, it's very, very dangerous, and they don't care. And people work really hard to steal from you to keep their own stuff. It's very hurtful. I've been there before. I had a job a while ago. I was really young, but they had some kind of way hacked into there where they had got access to my name, my phone number, my address, my social, my banking. I mean, everything. It was crazy. So it can happen, and to see how that happened at the job, it wasn't even from my mistake. It happened, something broke into, or someone hacked into the job information. So it's hard. Sometimes we can check it. Sometimes we can prevent it. Sometimes we can't. But just be mindful of things like that. I need to take my cards off my phone. I use them too much when they're linked. When they're linked, it's very dangerous. To use I would say maybe link one card to your phone if you're going to be using it. That way, if something were to happen, not saying something's going to happen, but if something were to happen, maybe they don't have access to everything. They don't have access to all of your stuff. They just have access to one card. So it's easier for you when you need to cancel that card or change the numbers or whatever you might have to do. Excuse me. And because it could be dangerous for you too, because you can be out, shopping. Give me one of these, give me one of these, and give me these. So, yeah. So, did anybody have any questions before we go? If not, it's quite all right, because I just sprung that on you at the last second. As always, I really, truly thank you all for spending time with me. You could be anywhere, but you're here with me for Talk Tuesday, and I appreciate you. That means so much to me. And I don't know, I just appreciate it. I noticed my credit score went down a little, even though I've been paying on time. Now, that's an interesting one. You've been paying on time and your credit score went down. So what I would say for you to check and see if one of your cards may have closed, because that happened to me recently. A card closed, so that affected my credit that way. Sometimes creditors will decrease your credit limit. Unfortunately, that's, we don't like that, but sometimes they do that. If you don't use it, I know I have one card, I wasn't using it enough. I guess they felt I should be using it more. That can affect your credit score. So just look into it and see what could have happened. Something had to happen for it to decrease, because it's not from you paying on time. It could be the amount you're paying. Maybe you're paying an amount that's not great enough for it to go down. Maybe you're paying this month and your interest is this month. So when you're paying this much, it's not really bringing it down quick enough for your credit score to have a difference. Or it could be a mixture from different accounts. So this could be a lot of different things. So you have to look into it and see what's going on. Yes, definitely. Please watch the replay. We went over a lot of things that, affect our credit that we might not think about. Yes, definitely. That's another one. Aisha said double check to make sure your due dates didn't change for your paying on time. Definitely. That's another thing that's tricky too, because sometimes our bills might be due on the 1st of every month. Sometimes it's not, as I stated in another live. So I have one card that's due on the 19th 1 month, on the 22nd 1 month, and stuff like that can be really risky and really throw you off, and they don't care because they're going to get that late fee. They're going to, it just turns into a lot of stuff. You pay some credit cards off. Yay. That's good. Now, do not close those cards you paid off. Closing the cards definitely will affect your credit in a negative way because it's taking away extra credit. So before we go, I know I said we were, finished, but since we're chatting though. So just think, if you have this much credit and then you're using this much and then you close those cards, then your available credit will come down here, which have you closer to the credit you're using, which doesn't make it look good. Whereas if you have all this still available, it's like, oh, wow, so he's barely using his credit. So definitely do not close those cards. Now, if those are cards that have the annual fees or something like that, definitely close them maybe one every 6 months, but don't close them all at one time, because that is going to kill your credit score quickly. But congratulations on paying off credit cards. I love it. And I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you always. Again, I'm accepting members until Saturday, into the Financial Freedom Mastermind. If you're someone who's ready to do the work and get some changes, tell them to check these comments, because I'm going to put it in the comments right after the live. All right. Yes, that could be the reason. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll see you next week. Same time. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but we'll see. It'll be something to enhance our finances. So happy Tuesday. See you next week.